Hello and welcome to today's video where we're going to cover some stats from today's games in the LPL. I am slightly changing the way that I want this daily series to go, focusing on stats and not necessarily the recaps of the games overall. Most of you have probably already looked up how the series went, and I thought to myself yesterday, why, with the way the time schedule is for me, why would I bother recapping what you've probably already seen? But a lot of these stats and things you don't get from looking at highlights or necessarily from looking at the scoreboards, especially in the case of the LPL, because China doesn't give these stats. So that's a thing. Long term, I do think I have an idea when it comes to champion matchups that I want to maybe start building up right before the season gets too deep, and then I'm like, oh my god, do I really want to go through 30 games of data to try and catch up this weekend? Like, I don't know. But I have an idea that I'd like to try. So, regardless, Team We LGD went 2-0 in predictions again today, starting strong. Team We would win 2-0. 20-minute laning phase in game one, so that was a very long window of time where there was not a turret being taken to start. Team We focusing on the bot side of the rift. That didn't result in a massive lead for the bot duo, but however, Wayward was ahead a ton over Birdall. Wayward on a Mordekaiser, 1.9k gold lead, 38 CS. He'd solo kill Hai Chow in this one, if I recall. No, solo killed Meteor. Meteor was on Talia and Karthus in game two. So, Team We were more active than LGD in the laning phase. Team We also took 4 grubs to 2, took the Rift Herald, took all 4 Drakes, important, Soul, and an efficient Baron, nearly 5,000 gold Baron. And when we look at today's Barons, they're all way more efficient than they were for FPX yesterday. FPX actually coming out negative 3,567 gold when you take into account the 1525 they got automatically for, when you take that out. You take into account, they got 1525 off the rip. Let's take that out and see how they did with that 1525 they got by smiting Baron and all the, perks of having the Baron Nashor power play for, 3 minutes or so, 245. And they came out heavily in the negative. So today, all 4 teams actually, all 3 teams that had a Baron doing quite well with them. In the first 20 minutes, though, like I said, 1.9k gold lead for Wayward, 38 CS, 1.4k gold lead for Fofo, and 38 CS as well over Hai Chow. Meteor up 59 CS, but only 400 gold because Team We were ahead in terms of tempo and actually getting things done. Game 2, 15-minute laning phase, similar situation in the top side of the rift. Wayward ahead of Birdall significantly. 1.4k in this one and 20 CS. 1.4k lead for the bot duo of LP and Mark into Kepler and Jin Zhao. They ran the Camille bot duo. LGD did, and we haven't seen that very often because Camille got nerfed at MSI. So that's a thing. In terms of plays, both teams committed 2. Grubs were split 3-3, Drakes 2-2, but Team We got the Rift Herald again and had a 4,300 gold power play. So between the 2 Barons, they had 9,300 gold in this series, which would say are 2 very, very efficient Barons. Had 7 great Grubs to 5, both Rift Heralds, 6-2 in Drakes. In terms of plays, made 5, LGD only 3. Laning-wise, Wayward averaging a 1650 gold lead and 29 CS. Meteor 550 because in Game 2, he did have a 600 gold lead and a 40 CS lead over Hung. It was a mid-game team fight around an objective that turned that game. 700 gold lead for Fofo, 13 CS, and then the bot duo, 800 gold and 6 CS for Team We. So Team We just dominant in the categories you'd expect because Meteor being a carry-oriented jungler, getting this meta for him is a good thing. Going into this series, I said in my prediction video, I thought that the angle for LGD to take a game would be if Meteor had an opportunity to carry. And he couldn't in the end, but his Karthus did rain down some damage. We do have to give him credit for that. In terms of that, actually, we'll just say this. He led LGD in damage, 2, 8, and 4, 28%. Fofo, Deathless, 11, 0, 12, 32% of damage. Hung, 6, 1, 15. So the mid-jungle duo of Team We went 17, 1, and 27. Wayward with that solo kill as well. So that is a thing. Series 2, EDG, JDG. Neither team had played yet. I was of the belief that this could be a 3-game series with JDG not playing for a while and EDG running a roster that has good players in JJ, Cryan, and Leave. And in the end, they were very competitive in Game 1, and Game 2 went on for a very long time. But in the end, no, Game 1 went on for a very long time. I mean, hell, 7 Drakes to 4. EDG were very competitive in one of the games, but couldn't win the late game team fight. So that's a thing. Laning phase very slow in both games. Game 1, 12-30. EDG made 2 attempts at a play. JDG really not getting any outnumbered situations. 800 gold lead for JJ, 700 for Yagao. Yagao getting that gold lead in part due to a 24 CS lead. If I recall, he was on LeBlanc in Game 1. Leave and Wink, I had 600 gold. 6 grubs, all of them going to EDG. They took the Riptail. They also got Soul. But JDG had a couple Drakes, dragged this game out. It went to Elder. They won the Elder fight and won the game. Barons. EDG had 2 attempts with Baron, getting 2,084 gold total. JDG had 1, getting 3,363 gold. Cryan with a solo kill in Game 1. Game 2, 12:45. Leave would also get a solo kill in this one. But at 12:45, both teams attempted 2 plays, and JDG a lot more competitive in this one. Flandre up 600 gold, 12 CS, 500 gold lead for Ruler missing, and up 5 CS themselves. Cryan was able to make something happen in the early game, get up 300 gold, 16 CS over Yagao. Cryan on the way was kind of what kept them in it, but in the end, it wasn't enough. EDG took 4 grubs, so dominance in the grub department out of EDG, but that didn't make a difference. JDG took 2 and the Rift Herald. JDG also took 3 Drakes to 1 and had a very efficient 5,305 gold power play. When you get the power play and you do something with it, you have a pretty damn good chance of winning. So the totals from this series, EDG made 4 plays, JDG 2 in the laning phases. In terms of laning diffies, we had a 250 gold lead for Flandre, 250 for JJ, 200 for Yagao. Bot lane, only a 50 CS difference, but you got to give Leave and Wink credit going into Ruler missing and coming out slightly ahead, even if it's essentially nothing. It is something to actually stay competitive, and you say, oh, lane swaps and this and that. Well, by this point, teams should have a good grasp of how to get gold for somebody in those situations. Otherwise, I mean, if you're just getting lane swapped on and you can't find a way to offset that and get gold, or you're just losing the game. Like, by now, we need to have a way of keeping up. So, that's a thing. And not necessarily the individual, but someone else on the team. JDG had 6 Drakes to 5. Barons, EDG getting 2684 out of 2. And JDG 8,668 with 2. So, slightly less than Team Wii. With their Barons. Ruler 11-1, 23, 28% of damage. Yagao 9-1, 17. Cryan had a solo kill and led EDG in damage. 3-7, 10, 33%. And Leave also had a solo kill in Game 2. Now, preview for tomorrow, OMG Rare Atom. Both teams are 0-1. OMG lost to LNG 2-0. Rare Atom lost to Top Esports 2-0. Last time they played, OMG won 2-0. 7 of the 10 starters are the same. Difference being, OMG now have Starry instead of Abel at 80 carry. Rare Atom have Zhao Hao at jungle instead of Nayu, and Zhui instead of Zora at support. So in that win, Cuban Angel went 13-2 and 31, 45% of damage. Zhao Zhu and Vikla 6-17 and 6 with 55% of damage in the loss. Afterwards, we have BLG RNG. BLG have not played yet. RNG lost to Team Wii 2-0. Last time they played, BLG won 2-0. 7 of 10 starters remain the same. Differences all on RNG's side. RNG now have ZDZ in top lane instead of Breathe. XZZ is playing instead of Tangwan, which is a bold decision, going against BLG. You kind of, I think, you should have saved that one for the series against LGD, in my opinion. But that is a decision. And then RNG of Wanfang at 80 carry instead of LWX. So when BLG 1-2-0, Shun and An went 13, 6, and 40, 29% of damage. Wei and Ming, 4, 19, and 15, 22% of damage in the loss. So these matchups definitely a bit of a diffy here. In this one, in that one, I mean, OMG have some pretty good players, right? But Zhao Hao has that carry potential, very reminiscent of that series there. There is potential there for something to happen in the case of Zhao Hao. So thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and hope to see you again tomorrow.